Welcome. In this video, I'll give you a quick introduction to GitSense for GitHub. So what is GitSense? GitSense is a browser extension for Chrome, and what it does is it makes searching in GitHub better. GitSense helps you find answers faster, and to show you how, we'll compare searching GitHub with and without GitSense. For the first search, we'll search without GitSense. To turn off GitSense, we'll disable the GitSense browser extension. With GitSense disabled, we'll search for the term do check in this repository. And here we can see GitHub found 21 code matches, 4 commits, and 25 issues. Now let's execute the same search but with GitSense turned on. With GitSense enabled, we can see GitSense also executed a code and commit search, but unlike GitHub, it also executed a diff search. And if we focus on the code search results, we can see GitHub found 16 more matches than GitSense. So why the big difference? With GitHub, code searches are always case insensitive, and if we look at the first match, we can see that I matched do check with a capital D instead of do check with a lowercase d. Since most programming languages are case sensitive, searching by case sensitivity is very important, and it's just one of the ways GitSense can help you find answers faster in GitHub. Now let's try the same search, but in a forked repository. With GitHub, it's not possible to search for code or commits in a forked repository, but with GitSense you can. Now let's go back to the previous repository and execute a commit search in GitHub with GitSense. If you're familiar with GitHub, you would know this Insight tab is not part of GitHub. This tab was created by GitSense, and if you click on it, it will take you to the GitSense home for this repository. In this GitSense homepage, we can see the branches that are currently searchable for this repository. As a side note, you can make any branch searchable, but this will not be covered in this video. Having said that, for this search, we want to search for commits on the 2.2, 2.4, and master branch. With the branches selected, we can search them by clicking the Search Branches button. And because no search terms were provided, GitSense executed an empty search, which matched all branch commits. In this empty commit search, we can see how the branches evolved by clicking on the green sum button. Here we see the 2.4 branch branched off master after December 7th. And if we scroll down, we can see the commits count for each branch. And if we scroll to the first green cell in the heat map and click on it, we can see the first commits. To view all commits again, just click on the clear link. So that was an empty search with GitSense. Now let's scroll back up and have GitSense match all commits within the last 14 days. To do this, we'll enter last days 14 and press enter. With this search, we can see how many commits were committed within the last 14 days. For the 2.2 branch, we can see there were none. Since this is the case, we'll update the search to only include the 2.4 and master branch. Now let's see who contributed to one or both branches within the last 14 days. To get this answer, all we have to do is click on the Contributors tab. Here we can see all the contributors who contributed within the last 14 days. And if we select the top 5 contributors, we can update this search to only include their changes. With the contributors selected, we can update the search by clicking the Search Contributors link. And in this search, we can now see all the commits by the top 5 contributors within the last 14 days. And if we select the Change Analytics tab, we can see what they changed. By expanding the summary information, we can see the majority of the changes were to TypeScript files. And if we drill into the tree, we can see what files were changed and by whom and when. And if we click on the diff icon, we can view the code changes for that commit. To view the diff in side-by-side mode, just select the side-by-side option. And if we click on the commit title, it will take us back to GitHub, where we can review and comment on a commit. So as you can see, when you search with GitSense, you get more than matches, you get valuable insight that can help you to work smarter and faster in GitHub. And if you haven't already done so, make sure to visit the GitSense homepage to turn on GitSense and to start searching smarter in GitHub.